podcast. As you can see, different little atmosphere we got going on today. We're still gonna come at y'all with a new show. I know it's been a minute since we recorded, but here we go. We got some good topics today. We're gonna talk about the NFL playoffs since they have started. Then we also gonna talk about if LeBron was to request a trade after the season, where should he go? Those are just little closing topics. But for the main topics, we got some good ones. I'm not gonna spoil what they are at the moment. We're just gonna jump into it. All right, so give everybody thoughts on this. If you were to win the lotto, would you continue to work? We just gonna start. We're gonna start this way, loop around.
Make a millions.
Just say you won
a couple of these.
Just say you won like $500 million.
Man, if I won $500 million, I would continue to work, but I wouldn't be pressed by going to work. And I'm gonna use my money to my advantage, make more money for me. But I'll work for the time being, just for a little bit. I'm not just gonna quit my job like that.
Man,
not $500 million, because you can do a lot with it, but you still have to make the money work for you. So
exactly.
While you're doing that, still work. You know what I mean?
I had two answers to that because I ain't gonna lie to you. You asked me that a few months ago. He already know the answer, so it's definitely no. But right now, kind of like he said, I let that money make even more money while that lot of money comes in. But I'd also be on some Chappelle type shit too. It could be just one day where I'm just tired and we out of there.
Yep.
That's just the honest answer. But I would stay. I wouldn't be worried about shit.
Yeah.
Man, I would work. Now, if you need my job now, no. I would probably build me a facility, like have a facility, train athletes, bring in people, to train. Because I enjoy that. Like I do that for free. So as far as that goes, yeah. Now, if you just talking about my regular job like right now, and my job is cool, don't get me wrong, but it ain't really stressful. I'll probably still work some, like I say, like probably be like a PRN type position where I come in when you need me type of thing, not every day. Because $500 million is a lot of money, man. And I'm at a point in my life where like I don't need to blow money. Like I don't believe in getting all this and all that. I'll probably give me a nice house, new car. And I ain't talking about like no Lambo or nothing. I'll just get something regular, you know what I'm saying? I don't need a mansion, just give me a little 4-bedroom house. And
I'll get a mansion.
I'll
need a mansion, y'all.
I'll get some land and just
I don't need a mansion. I don't need a mansion.
See, then that's upkeep, maintenance.
You right.
That's a lot of shit.
Me and like Dennis Rodman.
See, that's one extreme, but
If I won a lotto, like he was saying, my current job, as much as I mess with the people there, I love the environment, I would not be still working there if I won $500 million. I would probably invest some of that money within what we trying to do right now.
For sure.
Branch the business to where it's not just a podcast, to where you got different stuff going on. Make that money, make money for you. If I did have a little job, it would be some bullshit. I'll be an overnight stocker at Dollar General or something. Just like having a change here and there. Because that $500, I probably would live the same way I live now to an extent. What I mean by that is I wouldn't buy nothing crazy. Nice little house, a couple of cars, nothing too crazy, something I could drive every day, a little weekend tour. But of course, I would stunt here and there with some shit that other people can't afford.
but you gotta think about that $500.
What's an example of that? Like when you say
You don't get me stuff.
Like, just say for instance, matter of fact, like since we are at an apartment complex, I would just come in the office and say, you know what? I feel like buying this motherfucker.
Hey,
I'm just saying, the Queen Premier Apartments. I'm just saying, the beautiful ladies would get discounts, of course.
see.
I'm bullshitting. I cheat everybody saying. But that'll be something I would do. I would just, walk up like, because we all across the street from like Legacy Stadium out here in Katy. I would go, whoever owns that, I would say, you know what? I feel like buying this stadium. And no, Katy can't play football here no more. Yeah, I would do something like that because I know that can't nobody else do it. but I would still be practical to an extent. But since I did bring up like houses and cars and stuff like that, just say for instance, a car. What would be your first car that you buy?
My first car?
Yeah.
I already know this one.
Let me see. Cause it's, yep, man. Can I get like a few cars at a time?
No, I'm saying your very first car. Like just say you know for sure. Like right now it's in your head. I want that car.
2006 Pontiac GTO 6.0. Mint condition, of course. Cause I can do a lot with it, man. It got an LS motor in it. I can change to whatever I want to. But if you talking about like a car like that, I like, not like that though. Probably a Tesla model. What is it? Model S Plaid? Is that what it's called?
Is that a Tesla?
Yeah, it's a Model S.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
he worked. I'm like,
Yeah, I like those, man. I'll get something like that. 'Cause I saw the price on it. I can't buy it right now, but if I had that, I could buy a couple of them.
man, I might go with that Kia Stinger, or it's like another model. I don't know if it's a Scepter or it's a different one, but that Stinger is nice too. So the Kia, for the most part, yes, that's gonna be higher end, but for the most, I've known people that own Kias and it's reliable. So I mean, I know service shops to where I could probably actually get two of those. The first one gonna get blacked out off top.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it simple, everything gets blacked out. Black.
Man, I'm probably going old car, man.
Damn, I ain't thinking that.
Can't go
That
wrong.
dope one.
I mean, I always said I wanted a Monte Carlo, like an 86, an 87, but if I could probably get that if I just saved up. I'll probably go 72 Chevelle, maybe, SS, or 69 Chevelle. I'll be seeing,
American muscle.
I'll be seeing them joints be clean, man, like all black ones, man, it's on the bottom. I put 612s in there too.
What I would do, I would switch it up. I wouldn't even buy a car. Once again, I would be stumping on motherfuckers. I'll go buy a jet. I'll be pulling up to people's houses in a jet.
You can't
No. On some real shit. So I found out that you can basically rent your own personal jet. You have to have like you know how like you got the toll tag or whatever, and you have to put some money in, and then once it run out, it start billing you. So for the jets, it's like you have to have like a deposit of 200K, and you can use it whenever, but once they run out, that's it. I thought jets, you know what I'm saying, a couple of million or whatever.
That's still a lot. You gonna run
I mean,
a couple million in a
year.
year.
That's a lot for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I would have my own.
You don't even fly though.
It don't even matter. I feel like, just say I'm sitting at the crib, I feel like going to Kroger real quick. Let me get some.
So by the time I turn it in, you could be there by driving.
When you gonna land it though?
He's so expensive to land on 10?
It's just about stunning. I would land on motherfucking cars if I got it.
If you're going to jail and you do this shit, I can't do it.
I'll throw a little stack go by the door.
Man.
See? Come on, man.
Now, as far as like, now what's something that you would do that's not really practical if you could do it? Like how I was talking about stunting, like if you could just absolutely stunt, what's something you would do?
Damn, that's hard.
Yeah, man, I have me a motherfucking Iron Man suit. I'm talking about like the real one.
Hey, how you gonna? I'd be real extra on some kind. I'd be on some anime type shit for real.
Me personally, I would go buy the Rockets.
Shit, he probably get done.
that ain't- that's
Clear house. All y'all players that play for the Rockets, all y'all motherfuckers
So
will be gone.
wait, if you get rid of everybody, who are you gonna bring in?
I'll bring in a whole new team.
From where?
I'll go recruit the best players because I would no salary cap in Houston no more.
You can't do that.
I would do it. All the best players will come to Houston and play.
So you got LeBron, Giannis, Luka.
All of them. The top 12 players in the league right now will be on my team.
How you gonna pay them?
Nah, it ain't even coming back. Who is gonna come off the bench? That's what you gotta worry about.
The sorry inside of that 12.
Well, they all gonna feel like they the best.
If I had a start lineup right now of current players who I think are some of the top guys in the league,
Yeah.
my point guard will be Steph.
Okay.
My two guard, that'll be Devin Booker. My small forward will be Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I would have Bron at the
We
4.
got the all light skins. Oh,
I would have AD at the 5. And then, coming off the bench, I have probably that one's kind of tough with the bench unit. But you know, I would have just if I start backwards, Embiid at my 5, Giannis at my 4,
Yeah, it's cheap.
and then I would probably have KD at my 3. Then I need some defense.
Bring that boy Lance back from overseas.
Negative.
Man, see.
Really, I mean, it don't even matter, man. I could go get
You can put me out there.
man. I put
But
anybody.
what?
I'll change it.
Foul.
I'll change the name of the team and everything. It wouldn't be the Rockets no more. It would be the Houston Queens.
Bolsters.
Saying that, I mean, I probably wouldn't do that for real. I'm just saying, like, if I could do anything to like just absolutely stun people, knowing I have bread like that, I probably would buy a franchise and then move them to Houston. Because I feel like if LA can have 2 franchises, why not Houston?
Houston big enough.
Like San Antonio was a small market NBA team. I would probably move the Spurs out here to Houston.
Yeah.
And, you know, just have Houston.
But you're a bucket.
Nah, you can't go that route. You gonna be in trouble. You gonna be in trouble with that.
Man, he be tripping sometimes. Now this is something that came across. Once again, I was talking to somebody at work about all this, so that's one of the reasons why actually me and Leland stopped it. We was talking about it too. Thoughts on interracial relationships, not always, you know, black and white, but just any difference of races. Do you feel like there is what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like some people could view, just say for like an example,
Like hypocritical.
yeah, like they view certain relationships a certain way, other relationships another way, but it's like, just say if we don't like a certain relationship that's interracial, we consider hate. But if, not to throw no shade to black women, I love y'all, but if a black woman was to see a black man with a white woman, then yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that, I'm just using it as an example. So what are y'all thoughts on relationships? Do y'all think that it's
Like a stigma.
yeah, like
Man, but me personally, I don't care about that. Like, you got some people out there that, oh, you should stick with your race. Man, that shit is stupid. Like, it don't make sense. If you like somebody, and that, it don't matter what race they are or anything like that, that's your business, you know what I mean? I think you just keep it like that. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is when certain couples, or maybe one of the people out of the couple, makes a big deal about it being in a relationship. Like, why? Like, we can clearly see, you don't have to let it be known every time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do that. Like, we see it, we respect it, it's fine. Like, now somebody give you a problem about it, that's different. But I think most people that I know don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, I was concerned about it in my younger years, but like I even mentioned with Bob earlier, I'm no longer concerned about what certain people think about it, because somebody's always gonna have an opinion, whether it be positive or negative. And it's a select few I do let in on it and care about and value their opinion, but for the most part, I think it's actually necessary for growth, because don't get me wrong, I love my black women. I definitely have the pleasure of being living and raised by some strong black women. That's kind of where I'm drawing most of my flack from, for dating a Latino. But at the same time, I'm with her because we like each other, we vibe, everything's going good. So that's when you gotta watch out for those outside influences. The people you think are in that corner, they will keep plotting. Yeah. They always lurking, but they don't ever say nothing. So if you have me, fuck it. I mean, really, sorry for that's all it boils down to.
Basically, I'm on the same way y'all said, man. Like, obviously, man, we grew up in the country. Shit, I think our graduating class in high school was one black girl.
That was my god sister.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So, and granted, you could go to other towns and everything, but not everybody got cars, gas, blah, 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 blah. So sometimes we just a product. Now, what gets me though is, like, say I date a white woman or whatever, Mexican, Chinese, Vietnamese, no matter. Sometimes, like, you would hear females in the back, like, oh, he must hate black women. Like,
Yeah.
like how do you get that? Like, I dated a black girl before this one, or whatever.
That's amazing.
Like the assumption of that, and don't get me wrong, there's some niggas like that. Like they refuse to date black women or whatever. But like, I can tell you, like, don't put all your your eggs into, oh, I don't want to date them because of this, like, because of the color of their skin type thing. Like, that person might be for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, it ain't nothing wrong with interracial dating. But also at the same time, like you were saying, I see it sometimes as like a fetish. Like you women might have a fetish about black dudes, or vice versa, or whatever. If that's the case, then that ain't the right type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's low key disrespectful in my opinion. So if it's on that tip, like don't even pursue that. Like you on some other stuff. So.
Like my thoughts on it is because, like, speaking from just like you were saying, like we from a small town, from a country town. Like, just not to sugarcoat it, but most of the black girls that we went to school we grew up with, most of them were family. So like we had very limited options, like within the school we was at, as far as the dating pool. Like you were saying, you could go to other towns and date and stuff like that. Cool. But like I grew up mostly dating Hispanic women, and still to this day, that's mostly what I date. Now I've dated black women. Like I said, I love black women. I'm like, no bullshit, I love them. It's just that when you kind of get used to dating a certain race, it's kind of hard to like break away from it. I mean, you can try different things, get out of out of that box and just do what you do. But as far as like having an issue with interracial dating, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, you can't control who you love and stuff like that. You date who you want to date. But like you were saying, like don't do it because you have a fetish. Don't. It's just like I'm having a hard time even finding words for it, man. But like, because there are some people that feel like, oh, I have you might have a white dude, oh, I have a black wife, and you feel like they gotta say it every time.
And it's validated for whatever.
Yeah, it's like that don't make you cool, man. That don't give you the right to do this and do that. Like, yeah, if that's what you do, that's just what you do. More power to you. But there are some people out there that have real issues when they see people dating people outside of their race.
The looks, sometimes silence says more than anything, bro. I'm at that point, I just be smiling because I know she knows I'll be peeping. I let it lock her ride. Some of the stares, dog, they yell at me.
It's because like
that shit is real, dude.
I'm not gonna say my current job, but I used to work at News to Go, and I ain't gonna lie, I messed with a few women there, and there were some females there that didn't like the females that I was dealing with. They felt like, because they were, they were Hispanic, so they felt like, oh, you must don't like black women. Black women must not be good enough for you. Like, no, that's not it. It's just the fact that if this particular female approaches me and we click, we vibe, everything's running smooth, then why not? It don't matter what the race was. It could have been somebody that was seasoned in that time. I'm just saying, like none of that really matters. It's like if you vibe with somebody, you click, and everything's going well, then why not pursue it further? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just, I can't really say it really wasn't that many options over there, not a lot. But it's just the fact that the females that I did deal with, they just happen to be Hispanic.
And kind of like that, we all picked on depends on that environment, because outside of the ones we're related to, I mean, naturally, what culture you gravitate to early. I mean, it just happened to go along with the Mexican culture, because I mean, I found new mutual friends. Like this wasn't planned out of nothing. It kind of blindsided me, but we all grew up close knit, Latino and Latino people too.
Basically were raised when we got older.
I was in Migo for a long time, so been to my share of 15 and all that, but.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's a dicey situation sometimes. Not for us, but like for other people. like I said, if they ain't there for the right reasons, man, like it just ain't gonna work. Like it's being there for the wrong reasons is basically the same thing as being a racist person. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want him because you know what I'm saying, he's black, blah blah blah, or I want her because I want my kids to have good hair. Like, come on, like that shit like that.
People like
it's
that.
people out there. Yeah, I know for sure. You know what I'm saying?
I want my kids to be mixed.
Right.
Like, why?
Like you don't want your kids to
You
be
shouldn't
healthy.
even be a parent like with that type of statement, bro. I just wanted my kids to be healthy. That's it. I didn't care about none of that, the color of their skin, none of that. Now I will say, like, being black, you kind of fear for your kids. Because you know some people that's racist. You know what I'm saying? Gonna look at your kid a certain type of way or whatever. So that also plays a role into like the interracial dating because you know you have white girls or whatever. Just for example, white girls and black dudes or vice versa, and they be like, their parents be like, oh, I want you to date them, you know, basically because of the color of their skin. Also, like I know, you know, like if they part of the Muslim community, they don't. You might have to convert to their religion type thing. You know what I'm saying? So. It's a lot of different aspects of interracial dating, man. Like,
Because I was gonna add to that too. Just say, not saying any of our parents are like this, but just say, for instance, if your parents didn't necessarily want you to have an interracial relationship, how would you go about that?
Man, it's kind of tough, bro. Like, I mean, as a kid, you know, you've been in the house, so it's hard to kind of go against them. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: like, if you older and you get with a girl, you know what I'm saying, of a different race, or you get with a dude of a different race, and your parents don't want that for you, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to basically choose a side if they feel as strongly as they do about it. Like, you're gonna have to choose your spouse or your parent because they gonna. It's gonna be a clash forever. Like, it ain't gonna, and you kind of in the middle of it, so it's gonna bring you down and put you in a bad mental state if that's the case. Like, you'll never be at peace with your decision, regardless. Like, whether you leave her alone and go somewhere else, or you know what I'm saying, you fall out with your parents. It's kind of hard, man. Thankfully I ain't never had that problem. My mom cool, man. Like, my best friend. Some of my best friends was Hispanic, white, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a lot of diverse households or whatever. So my mom wasn't really tripping when it came to me dating girls of different races or whatever.
Like with our mama, she didn't really care about the race of anybody. She just wanted to make sure that we were taken care of, we were respected, we were treated right. And everything was cool. But the only thing that I can say was negative about our mama is that a lot of females were scared of my mama for certain reasons.
Us too. What you mean? I was too until I found
my mama this tall.
She is not that.
I don't know why people used to be so scared of her.
She is not that short, bro.
And the thing is, my mama is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It's just that she don't play. That's the only thing. But she always told us she didn't really care about who we dated and stuff like that, as long as everything was going how it should and we were treated right.
One thing I say about that is about as far as the people who's dating, whatever. If she did bring it up, let's say it was somebody of a different race, it'll be about their parents. Like, make sure the parents are cool with it. If the parents ain't cool with it, then you over here doing this and that, and then you end up automatically, because you're a young black man, it's like you won't do something wrong. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, so we always have to be careful and stuff like that. But like I said, that's really the only thing, really.
And she can, I ain't gonna lie, like what you just said, I hadn't thought about that, but there's been a lot of cases in history, especially of young black athletes. It's mainly been athletes, let's keep it real. And they'll get caught, you know, I ain't gonna say get caught, but they'll be dating something. And usually, typically, it happens like, they find out that the girl that had sex with the dude or whatever, and all of a sudden now it's he raped her. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a problem. Like, that's a strong problem, and that's part of the if their parents don't like you type thing, you need to kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's life changing, bro. Now you got to register as a sex offender, this, that, and the other. You can't get jobs and all this and all that. Like that's a scary situation, and I feel like that's why, just specifically on black people, a lot of them prefer to stay with their own race because of the fear of that, and that's understandable. Like that, I don't blame them, but like I say, don't lock yourself into missing out on something just because of that mentality.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like you said, thankfully that fear wasn't an issue, but the only thing that she would stress was that more so I'll be respectful regardless of race. So that's how I knew race would never be an issue. As long as she saw me happy and taken care of, she don't care, because the girl I'm with now was more concerned about tattoos outside of the race. Man, honestly, if my mama sees me happy, that's all she cares about. And if I'm respectful, that's literally it.
she don't have to whoop you, understand?
And I'm a grown ass man, and she will still whoop my ass. The only woman I fear to this day, person. That's it.
What else was going to be touched on that topic? I think we kind of covered everything on that one. So let's talk about the NFL playoffs. They already kicked off. I mean, I kind of put out a little chart every week, kind of see who I want to pick and stuff like that. Has anything caught y'all off guard so far this playoffs, or is everything going as expected?
I got caught off guard today, and it wasn't because of the Bills lost. It was the way they lost, I guess. Like, and I was talking to Josh and James Norton, my team. We was talking about, and I think I told you this too before. I was talking about how the Bills and Eagles offenses are. They so quarterback dominant that it would hurt them in the long run. And today was an example of that. Josh Allen had 46 passing attempts. It's a damn blizzard outside. Devin Singletary had 6 carries, bro.
That's crazy.
James Cook probably had 5, maybe. Or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So when I say it, that was in the long run, that was going to hurt them. Today was the day that it hurt them. Because Mixon had 20 carries, 106 yards or something like that. When you in the elements, man, you know both of those teams are from up north and have outside stadiums. You know kind of y'all was going to potentially meet up. Even in Kansas City, you was going to potentially meet up. So you basically took the game. You basically lost the game by not running the ball, in my opinion.
You gotta run the
There's
ball.
only one team that can get away with that. And even then, they need guys like McKinnon and Pachenko. They need guys like that, regardless how good that quarterback play is, because the element's that's gonna change the offense a little bit.
The thing, because I told Twan, I said I knew the Bills. Well, I already said the Bills were going to lose anyway. But I knew the Bills were going to lose when I saw that first drive, how easily Cincinnati scored.
Yeah.
They left Chase wide open for like a 28-yard touchdown. I'm talking about why nobody was within 15 yards of him. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, it's over. And that was just the first. It was 7-0, and that was it. Because Bills only scored 10 points.
Yeah.
So
what was it final?
It was 27-10.
Yeah.
So realistically, because it was 14-0 end of the first. So Cincinnati really didn't have to score the rest of the fucking game, and they was still won. But like he was saying, like Bills didn't run the ball. They were trying to force passes that weren't there. They took Stephon Diggs completely out of the game. And he was trying to hit Davis on deep routes. He was well covered. It's like, you have to come up with something. That's one of the things about the Bills. That's why, like, usually when they lose in the playoffs, it's usually the same thing every year. Like, they're too predictable.
Yeah.
You gotta hit them with something. And that's why I think that during the offseason, they need to try to make some changes, not only to the offense, but get different skill set within them. Because I like Singletary, I like Cook, but those are not guys who should be toting the rock the whole game.
They got them drafting Bijan Robinson from UT, and I think if that happened, he's pretty good. I think that'll be a big step up for him, because you had him with the element of Allen, Diggs, even Dawson Knox came alive, Gabriel Davis. But like I say, just because of that, I don't mean they're gonna run the ball.
Man, you gotta
use
like that. You gotta use him.
Yeah. I think it's been going how I think it was gonna go. You know what I'm saying? But besides, I really want to see what the Cowboys gonna do. See if Matt gonna lose that budget.
It was a 2-0.
Because if the Cowboys win, then that's gonna be. I said this would be the year.
They down 6-9 at halftime.
See, I said this would be the year. If they do something, it's gonna be this year. So we'll see how it's gonna play out. If they lose next year, they probably not gonna make the playoffs.
I'm gonna tell you the key with Dallas, this particular game, besides that, it's gonna be on that defense, man. Like with Parsons and Lawrence, because Purdy nice. Like he came out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Ain't got a big name, but the dude ball. Like if you watch them this year, that dude he know how to win games.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the big question. And I'll see what happens in the second half.
Definitely not a Niners fan, but I like how they make it easy for them. They can run the ball well, even if it's Devo or some other guy they have in the backfield too. That offense is simple, and for somebody who kind of got thrust into it unexpectedly, simple works.
I feel like if they force Dallas into man-to-man coverage, they're gonna be.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They can't do no
because San Fran front seven, that ain't gonna have the time.
No.
Not with Fred and the other guys. Just got
They
back.
run a lot of 2 wide receiver sets, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't 2, which is crazy, especially in the NFL today that they run. That's an old school offense, you know what I'm saying? And they very successful with it. Plus they got a great defense, so you know what I'm saying. You know at that time it goes back to Buffalo and don't run the ball.
Dallas' line ain't what it was either, so I think this is gonna play right in San Fran's hand. They're gonna keep it simple, probably throw it 20-25 times.
Yep.
That's it.
Like I've been saying for the whole season, Zeke sucks.
The helmet makes it even worse.
They would do a whole lot better. They get rid of him,
And the helmet.
build around Pollard, and then go get you a nice backup for Pollard.
I'm about to say you think Pollard every down back though?
I think that he could be on the field every down, but I don't think he's an every down back.
Gotcha.
But Zeke, he's a 0 down back.
Bro,
I don't understand what. I don't know what his problem is.
he came back early last year. That definitely didn't help.
He could clearly be one of the best running backs in the league.
Especially with pass.
He's not as explosive
He's
as he
a
was.
product of a system. They had an all-pro offensive line his first 2 years in the league. Once the offensive line started to get hurt, guys started to retire, guys was getting traded, his production fell off.
Well, he needs to go somewhere else.
He's like the short down.
Well, if he is gonna go somewhere else, that time is ticking. Because what is he, 27?
I think he
Yeah,
just
somewhere
need
there.
to go home. Tired.
Yeah, I think he got
Somebody can use
a
him.
good solid 3
He's
years.
probably a good running back coach, but he fucking sucks as a player.
I mean, he can play about 3 more years, man. I see.
Yeah,
I say
as a
too
backup.
productive.
He can't be a starter. No
He
more.
will end up being a backup in the next 2 years.
Yeah, he
Not
can't.
a
He
contender.
can't
I
be a
mean,
starter.
most teams don't even really have outside of the Titans with D. Henry.
And his time is,
My
I ain't
boy,
gonna say near the
Bengals,
Mixon.
even I can't even say McCaffrey no more because they give
It's another guy.
Mitchell. They
That's
give him a
it.
lot of carries too.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of backs that they that back.
Chubb, the whole league got away from that.
Chubb,
Yeah.
you got Chubb, and you got
You got
Hunt over there.
And then even I don't know what the Saints problem is with Kamara. They don't
They
use
don't
him.
use him at all.
Stupid. Just fucking stupid.
I don't know what they got a lot going on over there.
He can go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Kamara
all.
do need to go somewhere because he my second favorite running back after D. Henry.
He's I'm trying to think of back. I'm trying to think of one that he reminds me of, play wise, because of what he can do. I would say like Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, let's say Marshall.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk can run the ball. No, Kamara.
Oh yeah.
Run the ball, he ain't catch it out the backfield. You can line him up.
It don't make sense.
Like, you can use him in so many ways, man.
You got Dalvin Cook too.
Yeah.
I say he's a pretty
Yeah,
good.
let's say Kamara needs to go. He needs to go to the Giants. Have him and Barkley in the back.
Oh, and Saquon. I forgot about
That
Saquon.
game didn't surprise me either. By the way, I didn't think it'd be that bad,
No,
but
I know it would be.
the halftime score was 28-0. I didn't watch shit.
Yeah, I
anything
know
out of
it
it.
would be too.
No, because like the thing about what's number 14 that running back for the Eagles?
Not Kenny Gainwell. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kenny
he
Gainwell.
killed him. I'm talking. He was slicing him up. The other running back, Boston Scott, he's another one. Fucking sucks. Retired.
I don't trust Daniel Jones. Period. So I'd be
Daniel
him being
Jones
into
is
the
like
playoffs.
Ryan Tannehill, man.
Nah, probably worse.
Man,
He clumsy though. Daniel Jones is probably one of the
I can't forget that play. That one was gone until that touchdown
touchdown he
by himself.
But the Giants,
Something.
it's a lot the Giants need, bro. Like they need a backup to Barkley. They
Yeah.
need more receivers because
Secondary.
they paying Galladay all that money, and I have more catches this season than he
They
did.
didn't play him though. And then the first game he came in, he scored a touchdown.
It's because he's
But they shouldn't pay him that either.
he's a product of the system. He does not know how to get open. He does not know how to run routes. He can catch, but he can't run routes.
Yeah.
So
you in the field can't run routes is a problem, man.
you watch him play. He can't
Especially
run routes.
now
He
if
can't
you ain't got 4-2 speed.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta have one or the other.
Because in Detroit, he was doing his thing. That's because they kind of like freestyle routes over there. Because at that point in time, Stafford was still there. So Stafford could throw the ball anywhere. But I don't know, he was chasing money, and that's why he chose New York. As soon as I heard he was going there, I thought it was stupid. I thought they should have went to LA with Stafford, the man who got you looking like an all-pro receiver.
Yeah.
Why not follow him? You go over there to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones not proven. Galladay, I feel like if he's in the right system, he can look a little bit better. But New York, you have to actually be able to run routes with the type of quarterback Daniel Jones is. Galladay can't do that, so that's why he won the Bengals. I'm not gonna go as far as to say he sucks, but he looked horrible the last 2 seasons. It's only a handful of guys in the league that I can say flat out suck, and he's not one of them.
I got one in mind, and that kind of goes back to the lotto, what I would do with that money. I'm gonna leave that one alone for next time.
What you gonna do, brother?
You already know, brother. Don't. I'm gonna find some way to get him out of there.
Yeah.
We gonna get that cap space back and buy picks back. You know,
My picks back.
Hey,
They
take this
just
to
put
the next
themselves in a
one.
bad
All the
situation,
picks back.
man. They put themselves in a bad situation. They ain't got no picks no more.
We barely got one back from the Chubb trade. That's one pick back. But hurt up two
Thing
others.
is, even if you release Wilson, you still got to pay
You
them.
gonna get
You
hit.
can't release him.
You stuck with him. I think stuck for 2 or 3. At least 2.
You gotta play out.
He got if he loses about 100 to 150 pounds, we good. You can see all the cute little workouts and stuff. I just saw it, all this right here.
Somebody said
Look like he been at Roadhouse for 6 straight months.
Rolls
and butter.
They told the nigga like he always running for president.
Yeah, he got it now. He has his own office on the facility. I
How
think.
you got your own office?
On the facility when he first got there.
Somebody said
Well, they didn't even have that
multiple
at the 5
parking spots. Multiple
Yeah, you
parking
doing
spots.
too much,
That's-
man.
Like I said before, Russell Wilson has not been the same since he got with Sierra. Before he won a Super Bowl. Then when he got with Sierra, he ain't did shit
He's
since.
behind that right, man.
He started getting that kitty. That's why. Motherfucker was a virgin until he got with Sierra.
God damn.
That might be true, man. That might be
Look
true.
at him, because
It really is.
Russell Wilson technically is black, and look how
I
he
still
wears.
don't
Look how he
think
wears his hair. Man, that's the shit I've been talking about.
Boy got the emo rocker here.
Bro, that shit look disgusting, bro. Like, that shit just be there, though.
Man, that's stupid.
That shit look like a dry ass
I remember when I saw
curl.
him in college, because I used to only see him with his helmet on. He took off his helmet. I said, "What the fuck is this?"
He got that Tyler Perry wig and shit.
I thought it was motherfucking. I thought it was a symbiote on his fucking head.
Man,
Get the
stop.
hell out of here,
That shit looked horrible. But he's out of fucking line. And I was like, yeah, he's fucking lame.
Man.
And then I ain't even gonna say the slogan he said. That shit, though. He said that I just want to swing
What
it
you
straight.
say?
I'm not repeating that shit, man. It's 2 words, so I'm gonna say. I ain't saying that shit.
Like you said, if Russell Wilson come back in shape,
That's different.
get rid of Sierra, go get him a badass taper, he might be all right next season.
Can't get rid of his wife, man.
The thing is,
He gotta do something.
did y'all get the coach yet?
Supposedly looking at Peyton, which I mean, I'm not gonna be no. I'm kind of keeping it even keel.
Yeah.
Offense can't get worse, but on the plus side of that, you are returning Tim Patrick and Devontae, so it's not gonna hurt the offense. And Peyton definitely won't make it worse. Hackett, I think it wasn't so much play call. I think time management. We saw it to where minutes would tick off, no time.
That's what
It would just time would just be ticking, no timeout. I think play time management was worse.
You said new uniforms.
I've been waiting on that. It's been a while. Color rush is cool. We waited those twice a year.
But speaking of coaches, have any of y'all been keeping up with the Ed Reed situation?
I watched that video earlier, and people won't agree with what he did, but honestly, I like how he did it because I feel he came from the right place.
What gets me, so we got a lot of people let's say the way he did it was wrong.
Yeah.
He went to the social media. They say he should have did it in office. Well, how do we know he didn't do it in office? You know what I'm
The
saying?
way they moving over there, you don't know.
Because think about it, if you become the head coach somewhere, and then when you first get to the school, and your office is not cleaned up for you, your office dirty and trash everywhere.
Trash is with
And then
everywhere.
the fact that you got this man, you gave him the title, but he don't officially have a contract. So basically, he wasn't getting paid.
R.P. to my boy Coach Richie. But you remember when we went to LMC our first time, and your foot was sweeping, and then we was like, we looking for the AD, and he walked up.
He said, "Let me take you to him." Then go upstairs, goes around the desk, sits down, gets right back up and saying, "I'm Coach Johnny Rich." I'm like, why didn't you just say that when we was downstairs?
Yeah, make it dramatic, man.
I can't take nobody serious.
But I don't. The only thing I thought was kind of funny though, because he was cussing extremely hard in the video, so that was funny to me. But if he wasn't cussing, people probably wouldn't be like, "Oh, you should have did that."
Man.
But like you brought up he did get the job, but he didn't have a contract.
Yeah.
But people was like, "Well, why did he go over there?" Because that's what he said he was going to do. Like, why wouldn't he? Because if he didn't go over there, y'all have a problem with that too.
Exactly.
So I don't think he did anything wrong. He went about it the right way in my eyes, because he had to get that out the way. Like now, don't wait till the last minute to start saying stuff.
Yeah.
Let it be known this is what's going on. And when that happens, it looks like they want him to come in there and do the stuff by himself. Like,
And I think
You
I think the way they're operating is more so out of embarrassment. Not trying to shut him up, but they're embarrassed that they let it basically do the shit for so long. Because the kids do deserve more. And I think as far as watching Ed all the years, he doesn't strike me as somebody who would just lie or bullshit around. So
Ed not like
by
that.
him speaking up that much, that should show you something alone. Because Ed, to me, outside of being mic'd up here and there, never talked a lot. So when he speaks, people tend to listen.
But the thing is, it's not just because people talk about what Dion did and now they talk about Ed Reed, but it wasn't that long ago. Ed George was saying the same thing about the campus and the facilities being all messed up and no money is really being invested back into the school. Because a lot of the alumni, they want to put these big name people the head of the program, but they don't invest any money back within their school.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where it messes up at. Like, there's no reason why, like he was saying, trash should be everywhere. Or they should have a whole building filled with trash.
Yeah, they could turn it into something and actually use it.
Like, come
School,
on,
you know
man.
what I mean?
That could have been a study center, anything. Like it's just that it's little stuff like that. It's like this man was basically doing everything for free. And that's what people fail to realize. Anything that he was doing as far as with recruits, with the kids, that was money coming out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
You got to think about stuff like that. I think that everybody was too caught up in like, okay, we got an ex-NFL player. He's going to invest his money into the school like Dion did.
That's what I was saying.
And I'm like, Dion, he did that more so because when he got there, he didn't go public with anything, but when he got there, I'm pretty sure Jackson State had some messed up stuff. It might have not been to that extent, but they probably had messed up stuff too. And instead of him just putting it out there, he was like, okay, let me fix this. Because he put half of his salary from Jackson State back into the team, plus some of his own money on top of that to fix locker rooms, to get the practice field up to par, get the weight room, get the equipment for the players, and bringing in all these recruits. He brought a lot of money to Jackson State, and he never got anything in return, not even his full salary. And people were criticizing him for leaving.
Bad part about that, some Texas high school facilities are better than college ones.
Yeah.
That should tell you something
Sure.
right there. Like, there's no way it should be close.
Like that right there is just because once I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of messed up, man. I mean, Ed Reed, he already had a coaching job. He was on the coaching staff at Miami. He left there because he had an opportunity to be a head coach.
Yeah.
And next thing you know,
Or so
this
thought.
happens.
You know what? Another thing, you brought up Miami. So, on Instagram, people been talking about it. You see people in the comments talking about he shouldn't did that, this and that, so he not even qualified for the job. So like how's he not qualified to be a head coach? Like
He's been coaching for years.
Yeah, people feel realize they think they like, oh,
Get
well,
off the couch.
Yeah.
so in their mind, they're like, oh, he an ex-NFL player, so he can coach. Man, that's not how it works. It's like with Dion. People fail to realize how long he's been actually coaching. They thought he just got the job because of who he was. That's a part of it, but he's a proven winner.
Exactly.
And he proved that on multiple levels already. So for them to say that was, I didn't like that either.
But
But
some of those same critics, they have a lot to say, but they don't actually contribute.
yeah, exactly.
Period.
Come on, man.
Because like the thing, like you told me, Dion, he coached it. He had his own prep school. He coached it. Then he went to the Trinity school.
He coached at Cedar Hill too.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's
yeah.
been coaching. He won state championships. They reached out to him. He said he was once Shadur graduated from high school. He said basically he was done with coaching.
Yeah.
Jackson State reached out to him for that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take that job. He went there, built the program up, and he left it better than what it was when he came. Because he blessed somebody to get that head coaching spot that he groomed that could really lead the program in the right direction.
One thing that I don't think anybody picked up on, but when you hire somebody like that, not saying you should know the spotlight's going to be on different areas, but you got to be aware. You bring in arguably the GOAT, it's going to be a spotlight around him. Period. That's going to inadvertently shine a light on some stuff you may not want seen. So that should have been known from the get-go.
Also, though, what Erie was asked for wasn't.
No.
He should have been kicked.
Like, I want you to clean up. Like, it should have been clean when I got here. It's like this is a new job. I ain't never been to a job where I walk into the office and it's just dirty. Like, and I ain't making near the salary they make.
Even where we at now.
It's like if you start, just say like at the job, if you start working and then you know how they give you shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just say they handed you some dirty ass shirts. Like it's the same thing. Like,
I mean,
bro,
yeah.
If you start somewhere, they give you brand new stuff. Now, he could have had a cleaned up office. He could have had people that actually worked at the school doing cleaning around the campus. Like he shouldn't have to get his football team to go clean up around the campus. That's not their job.
Especially simple stuff, man. But now another thing is a lot of people talking about, well, you know, they are still recovering from a natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable, but at the same time, the stuff that the university should have been doing, they wasn't doing bottom line. So natural disaster or not, they still wasn't doing what they needed to do.
Because I don't even know who was the president of the school. I know that Reggie Theus is the AD. He get his punk ass out of office if that's how you handle business.
That's sad, man, because, like, I mean, we went to HBCU, and, out of high school, I had applied at Prairie View at the time, like in 2008, and I never got anything back, like, ever.
Hey, I'm gonna touch on that. Keep going though. I'm gonna touch on that.
So then, I ended up going to SFA. Like, I applied to SFA, as soon as I applied, like, boom, I applied to Texas State, same thing. But Prairie View ended up sending me I don't know, I can't remember if it was a acceptance letter or something else, like almost 2 years later from when I applied.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. And we don't do stuff like that, man.
And so, you know, we went to SFA, went to LMC, transferred back to PV. So when I'm there, you know what I'm saying, trying to get everything situated. I'm calling, no answers, leave a message. Calling, no answer, leave a message. So I'm like, man, what is really going on? Like, cause I did, you know, the same thing SFA, but I hear back like that. And it's just small things like that, man, that sets the HBCU back. And I ain't saying all of them, but it sets it back. And that's the reason, like, we lose a lot of these athletes to the bigger schools. Like, why would they want to go there if it, you know, say something simple as ambitions ain't available to the parents or, you know, whatever.
Because when I was at PB, it was the same thing. Like, bro, like, constantly reaching out to them and getting nothing back. And then when we actually went to the offices, we see why. It seemed like nobody was in there working. There were 100 people in the office.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 people working. It was like, bro, you spent 8 hours in the office just for the simplest shit that can be mailed to you. It's stuff like that. Now, we're not trying to shit on HBCUs, but it's just the fact that there's a reason why you constantly see people putting the spotlight on them for negative reasons. It's because it's not being ran the correct way. And that falls on the president, that can fall on the alumni. You got a staff that really don't give a fuck about being there. So it's like, maybe if people actually care like how Erie does, things would be a lot smoother. Because it don't make no sense because we, as black men, you barely get opportunities to be head coaches at considered Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
So when you get a chance at HBCU, and then it turns out like that, I mean, it's not a good look.
No.
But they rather go hire motherfucking Willie Green, the fourth and shit to go hire to go coach somebody who ain't never coached before.
Right.
But you got people who have coaching credentials who can get you big time points. I'm just saying, like, they would rather have Because his daddy coached at the school in the 50s, he can coach here too. He ain't won a game in 20 years, but shit, he is a legacy.
Like old boy son, hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
Which one, Doug Williams?
Nah,
Talk from Grambling?
Yeah.
Eddie Robinson?
That's not his son.
it's not?
Mm-mm. So the one that coached at Alabama State? That's not Eddie Robinson's son. They just got the same name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his name Eddie Robinson.
Yeah. A lot of people's confused about that.
Yeah, I mean,
But he used to play back in the day too. Dude from Alabama State, Eddie Robinson, he used to play. That's why he's going in with Dion.
But I'm just saying, it's like, but usually that's what happens with HBCUs.
Yeah.
They try to hire legacies instead of hiring the people that can actually turn the program around. Because some coaches, if they was at a Power 5 school, they'd have been fired after 2 years
Yeah.
if you're not winning no fucking games.
And HBCUs, they couldn't afford to. That's why you had so many programs that were losing for, I'll use people for example. The boys had an 80-game losing streak. How many coaches did they go through in those 8 years though?
I don't even know.
It's
It's probably about that many. So that goes to show you. But you was talking about when you applied, I did the same thing and I completely forgot about it. I applied. I never remember getting an acceptance letter from PV at all.
I didn't.
I never got one. I know I got accepted though.
Because that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like, my daddy went there, uncles went there, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, it's down the street. I thought I could play football for him.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, man. And that's probably a whole other subject. I was talking about recruiting and shit.
Yeah, that's what we get on though, because you used to talk about the coaches as far as what they can do. The same thing go with recruiting. HBCUs will, for some odd reason, from when we were in school, I don't know about now. Now they need a couple more players that's a little bit better. But they were scared to reach out to certain players from certain schools because they felt like they couldn't get them.
these people were saying go.
Yeah, but these kids some kids just want an opportunity to play.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So just because you think this person, he's not gonna go here, let's not even waste our time. They probably want to go there.
It's because like if you look at all the talent that's surrounded Prairie,
They can,
with Waller being right there, Hempstead right there, Belleville, Sealy, you had
Brenham even.
Brenham, you had Royal was in that area, we was in that area. It was a whole lot of talent in that area at a certain point in time.
they kept recruiting from
They were recruiting
outside.
from fucking Wisconsin and shit. You got all this right here that's down the street from the school. You're not reaching out to none of them.
Never even got a visit.
I really think it's because they felt like they couldn't get certain players. Right?
And
But
it's
this
just that you
goes
never
back,
know.
to if you don't ask.
But if you'd have reached out within that time frame, you'd have reached out to some of the players and would have got them there, that could have turned the program around.
Yeah.
Who's to say PV didn't win some Black National Championships in that time frame?
And they did start to turn the program around at that time, but I think it would have been
It was like
different.
right there and then.
But, I mean,
I think it's the same thing with coaches though too, man. They feel like they can't get a certain caliber of coach, so they just settle for the person that applies for the job.
Yeah.
but you know, as far as sorry coaches, it ain't got nothing to do with HBCU. Brian Maper, if you out there, you fucking suck too.
Come on, man.
Hey, shout out to
That's
Keith.
the reason why Lamar has sucked since they brought football back. Because you didn't want to recruit players who actually had skills. You wanted to go get some motherfuckers that was from right down the street. Motherfuckers that weren't even playing ball in high school. Motherfuckers were washing cars and shit. And you tell them to play football. Like I'm just saying, that's why Lamar fucking sucks.
I'm gonna have to edit this out the video, man.
I'm just saying, man. Because that right there, I'm telling you, I remember your name,
Where
Brian
was
Maper.
that before that?
I don't know, but I remember him coaching at Lamar. But he wasn't a head coach either, so.
It don't matter. Whoever was on that coaching staff back then, all of y'all suck.
Man, I remember Glenn, I don't know the chart for them, but they had some outrageous. That boy told me, basically. Well, first dude, when I came there, he was like, man, I thought you committed to OK State. I was like, nah, I just got a letter from him, blah, blah, blah. Then we got out there, he talking about, man, if you can't run a 4-3 receiver, I don't need you. You know, it's like,
They were like that.
They said the same thing when I went out there, because they had Ryan Mouton was there the year before.
Yeah.
And Ryan Mouton, the 4-2 guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not running 4-2 at DB, we don't want you.
That's
It's like,
crazy.
how many people out here really finna run a 4-2? Like,
It's rare.
It's very rare that people run 4-2. But that's what happened, man. But anyways, touch on the LeBron situation. LeBron has been playing great as of late, putting up some unrealistic numbers, especially for his age.
Yes.
But there's a lot of stuff going around saying that it's a possibility he might ask for a trade after the season. And it's a handful of teams that they were saying that would be a nice fit for him. So I want to get y'all opinions on if you could see LeBron playing anywhere else other than LA next season, where would it be and exactly why?
Man, I really, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even. I got nothing, man.
T-Raw, let me think. Where would he really fit in at? To do what he does right now and actually win games.
Shit, I know where he can go.
He ain't gonna go there. That ain't gonna help you. I already know what you about to say. Houston.
I was gonna say that too, but that's not gonna.
Listen, fuck. Yeah. All right, you gotta get rid of. You're not getting rid of Jalen Green. You're not.
Well, I'm gonna let you finish your point, and then I got.
I ain't saying you can't, but I don't see them getting rid of him. They're gonna try to pair. I'm saying they're gonna try to pair them two together. They're gonna get rid of KPJ. You let Eric Gordon go. You give up some draft capital and possibly yes, and possibly they gonna try to keep. Let's say you get LeBron, you keep Sengun, Jalen Green, Braun. That's your basically your big three. Everybody else can go. Now you bring in Braun. He's your point guard essentially. I don't give a who you got on that's at the actual position. You bring him in to groom them on how to play the game the right way. Plus, with him, I feel like the Rockets, if he go anywhere, you a championship contender. I don't care what nobody's saying.
I don't think with them, man. Because as I watched them, was that last night?
That's what I'm saying. Did you see that shit?
Man.
What was it, dropping the ball? She's like, "Dog, you can't dribble in the NBA."
I saw a video. It was a guy on TikTok. He said that the reason Houston is losing because they don't have anybody on their roster that can actually play basketball.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
watch them play. They're just out there.
They can play the game, but they don't. They play AAU ball.
Yeah.
ISO, go to the basket.
LeBron in Houston, that team might set a record for most losses in the season.
They play like y'all seen how college basketball is compared to the NBA. They play like the college team in the NBA.
Yeah.
They dribble too damn much. They do all this dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Man.
it's trash.
Well, there's realistically, there's 3 teams I can see LeBron going to.
I'm gonna say, well, I got
Brooklyn one of them.
No.
Portland.
No.
I'm trying.
There's one Western Conference team, 2 of them in the East.
Suns.
Phoenix
Booker would
Suns.
be.
Him, Chris Paul, Devin Booker.
But you gonna have to get rid of one of them.
No, you can get rid of.
Ayton.
You can get rid of Ayton. If you still got Jay Crowder on your team at the time, you get rid of Jay Crowder, and then you can also go with a couple of picks. You pair LeBron with them, you can really put any center on that team. Because you got to think about it. Miles Turner's going to be a free
Go
agent.
get JaVale McGee.
You could get JaVale as a backup. But I'm saying Miles Turner's a free agent, right? If you're trading for LeBron, they don't have no other free agents on the team.
That's it.
If you had Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and then you had Mikal Bridges, LeBron, Miles Turner as your starting
I forgot
five?
about Mikal Bridges. They probably let him go too.
No.
Or Cam, wasn't that Cam Johnson? Cam Johnson.
They'll let Cam Johnson go before they let
I like Cam Johnson. I like both of them, to be honest.
Phoenix is probably
Okay.
one realistic spot he can go. In the East, you got Cleveland.
Garland.
Because you got Garland, you got Spider, you got Spider. At the moment, Jared Allen, you can get rid of 3 players in that second unit and still be competitive. With LeBron paired in that, and throw him at the 3 in that starting 5,
Yeah.
and you still got Mobley and Jared Allen.
What you gonna do with K Love?
Kevin Love can go. Like, realistically, I mean, he's not a free agent or anything, but like, he can go. But it's just that you put him with those guys, that's taking a lot of stress off of his body too, because Garland can get buckets, Spider can get buckets. So I'm saying like that right there would be a nice. I don't think they win a championship, but I think that would be nice. The last team I think that he would fit with in the East would be Miami.
So 2 past teams.
It's because I think the reason why
Almost like going back home.
the reason why I think that Miami will be a good fit is because you could trade LeBron for Kyle Lowry, for Duncan Robinson, and possibly 2 other players off that bench. And you can keep the same starting 5. You can still have Tyler Hero on that team. Have him Really, you can
Because
get.
you need shooters.
Yeah.
Well, LeBron needs shooters.
So I'm saying, like, if you got, say, LeBron could play point on that team.
Yep.
And then you could, because they got some young guys I never heard of that's balling right now, man. You could have any one of them play your 2, Jimmy Butler as your 3, and then you can still have Bam.
And Hazard.
You know, he used to retire.
Yes, he does.
I'm just saying, like, those teams, he'd still be competitive. I think that if he wanted to win a championship, the best option would be Phoenix out of those 3. It might be a sleeper team out there that can go get LeBron, but for the most part, those are the 3 teams that I heard
Because
of.
we know he ain't go to small market.
That, or he can fuck around and end up in New York. He could say, I want to go to New York. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's really where, when he was a free agent, the last season in Cleveland, New York was really the team that he wanted to go to. But he asked his family where they wanted to live. All of them said LA.
I was, yeah.
But he wanted to go to New York because he wanted to go to a big market.
Yeah, that's what he was going to do.
Even though I personally thought that he was going to Philly. I just had a feeling he was going to Philly.
I forgot about Philly too.
Because I was thinking about how big that lineup would be. Pause. And,
Like my boy.
yeah, because look, he had Ben Simmons at that time who was still up and coming.
Yeah.
LeBron. He had B. You would have probably still.
And Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris wasn't there yet.
Oh, he was still in what's it called?
He was still in LA. Yeah, I think about it. They traded that same season. They traded for Jimmy Butler.
I forgot. Jimmy played for him too.
If Jimmy was still in Philly, Philly would be
And
down.
he went to Minnesota.
Yeah,
And then
Minutes.
yeah, he was traded to Minnesota, and then he played the one season. He played a season and a half in Minnesota. The first season he was there, took him to the playoffs. The next season he played a little bit less than half of the season. He traded to Philly, and he was nasty with that blend right there.
but he said they was toxic, huh? Essentially like that.
He had a bad situation in Minnesota. He loved it in Philly. He just didn't understand. They had to pick between really him and Tobias Harris, which one they wanted to keep.
Oh man.
And they chose Tobias Harris.
Man, did y'all see that off topic? Y'all seen that John Wall interview?
I saw parts of it.
I watched the whole thing the other day, man.
He was smoking some before he got sat down and started talking. But he was saying some of these stupid shit I've ever heard. Because like I get it what he was saying about his time in Washington, his time in Houston. But when he said that the 16-17 Wizards would have destroyed the 16-17 Cavs.
He said he felt like they matched up.
We'll have to go watch that.
But
It's pretty good though. Like
think about it. They played 3 times in the regular season. The Cavs won all 3 matchups.
Yeah.
How did y'all get?
I don't know why he felt like that. Cause I mean that was team was decent,
They
but
was decent, but
they reminded me of the Orlando team with like Hito Turkoglu and all that.
Man, they weren't the same defensively.
Right.
But thing is, they played Boston in that same playoffs that year, and Isaiah Thomas killed them.
He said
so how you
they
gonna?
say he dropped 53 on
That's what I'm saying. You can't stop Isaiah Thomas. How you gonna stop? Kyrie was still there.
Yeah.
LeBron, Kevin, man, come on, man.
But even some of the Rockets situation,
It just like, come on, man. It wasn't too many. Because I remember when he actually said that back then, going into the playoffs. He said the Cavs was losing games at the end of the season on purpose to avoid playing him. And I was like,
That made no sense.
I was like, why would
Nobody be thinking about something like that.
There's some teams that do that to avoid certain matchups, but
you usually do that like if you
and then because Richard Jefferson, he posted their record in the playoffs. The season before that, the Cavs only lost 1 game throughout the whole Eastern Conference before they made it to the finals. That season that John Wall was talking about, the Cavs only lost 2 games. So it's like, how are y'all gonna beat them?
and you beat a Warriors team that was
Exactly. The most stacked. Well, they weren't the most stacked at that time, but
Yeah.
it was the season right before that. But 73-9. That was the same year
Yeah,
the Cavs came back from 3-1.
yeah.
How is the Wizards? And remember, it was John Wall, Bradley Beal, Kelly
Gortat.
Gortat was there.
Somebody else.
One of the Morris twins was
Yeah.
there. Markeith was there. That's it. There was other players on the team, but that's it. They would have got swept, probably embarrassing, if they would play them. Because you got to think about it. If the Wizards would have won their first round, they would have played the Cavs in the second round.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They got beat by Boston. So it's like, how are you talking about a rematch?
That Boston team wasn't that good.
Exactly. The only scoring option they had was Isaiah Thomas. They was great.
Boston should have dropped 53.
Yeah, he was killing them.
He just tall.
Killing shit. This is, man, I don't understand. John Wall was smoking, bro. Yes, he was, man. He's still smoking now. He don't know. He don't even know what team he plays.
Nothing worse than when Jalen Rose checked Paul Pierce about D Wade, and he just sat there looking stupid. I know you remember that shit.
Yeah, because he couldn't say he was saying a whole bunch of stuff, accolades that D Wade
He
had.
talking about,
Paul Pierce didn't have none of it.
Come on.
He said you don't. He made that face the whole time. What?
Speaking of getting pumped, this is the last thing we're gonna cover real quick.
See.
Shannon Sharp with the Memphis
I'm winning all the smoke. I'm winning all the smoke.
Torn ain't see it. I saw the shit live.
He didn't move because Steven Adams low key kind of charged him. And he stood right
It's
there.
funny though, cause okay, they showed the clip. You remember? I think this was last season when Memphis and Lakers played and they was bumping, and LeBron was like, "I don't play that shit." Like, oh, you want to talk since you made a shot? He's like, "I don't play that shit." Blah blah. They went down.
Like, when I dunked on Jaren Jackson. Yes.
Okay, so last night or the other night, I'm watching the game and Dylan Brooks is bumping again. LeBron ain't saying nothing. He cool. So. I think Brooks had, I don't know if he dunked it or like when he made a layup or something. Then he came down, he bumped
it was like a teardrop.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch this play out. So game go on. In the game, at halftime, Shake say you too small to go on prom. Brooks say something, blase. So then he got up. He's like, come right here.
Yeah, cause he told Shannon Sharp, fuck you.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp said, fuck you. And then he was saying like come right here. Like come right here and say it to me.
I really gotta go watch it.
No, it's funny.
He told him, he said, come right here. Dylan Brooks didn't walk over there at all. But you see Steven Adams walk up, you see John Morant walk up.
And John, he looked like he wasn't no smoke. He was like laughing.
He was laughing the whole time. But Steven Adams, he was starting to push people from the Grizzlies staff like he was really going to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was standing, didn't move an inch.
He stayed just like this.
Then John Morant's daddy come out of nowhere.
And I don't know if you peeped it. A dude started walking this way, and Sharp like kind of turned to him, like he was like he thought somebody was sneaking up on him. And he relaxed and went back to the alley. But what's crazy, bro? I be seeing all these couch coaches and everything talk. They like, oh, I don't think he wanted with Adams because he big. So when being big don't mean you get your ass knocked out.
Man, stop playing with Shannon.
You gotta think about it. If Shannon Sharp was what, around 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
Something like that. Steven Adams is a 6'10", 6'11" guy. Like I said, Shannon Sharp didn't move a centimeter when he saw Steven Adams coming in.
He kind of got closer.
That's what I'm saying. Then John Morant's daddy was really trying to sneak up on him.
He came in from this.
He definitely.
When he saw him, he turned to him and he said, "You definitely don't want no fight." It's like, what? And then
It's funny though.
Because it's like,
Yeah, I gotta go watch
and
this.
then Dylan Brooks after the game talking about that Shannon Sharp is a pedestrian.
A pedestrian, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
who are you?
you sitting right here with this fucking
In comparison.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they've been saying that man Grizzlies bump a lot for somebody
That hasn't
won a
accomplished
championship or anything.
But
Bridges,
I like John.
You talking about
I like John because he got a nice up game. He excited to watch.
He has no regard for human life.
Right.
Clearly.
Man, but it's just that, like you said, that team, they cocky for no reason. Talking about we basically was saying that Boston will be the team they play in the finals. So they good in the West. Can't nobody beat them in the West. You just lost to the Lakers team who y'all was realistically, I'm a Lakers fan. Grizzlies should have beat the Lakers by 30.
Yeah.
And they lost.
That's an AAU nigga.
But-
AAU just got the game.
But Dylan Brooks was making it seem like he shut down LeBron. LeBron had 24 points still. And he told me he shut him down. Since when does that shut anybody down?
Laughing like Michael Jordan when Gary Payton's telling it.
Like I don't understand that, bro. Because like I said, LeBron is still averaging damn near 30.
Yeah.
It's like 29.5.
That's 38 years.
38 years old. He's killing boys. They play Portland tonight. I'm gonna see what they do. But like I said, I don't understand why. It's a lot of bumping in the NBA going on, and they don't be about no
But
action.
you saw him shake up after the game
Because
he knew better.
it wasn't that serious.
It shouldn't have been. Steven Adams was on 10. I'm still trying to figure out why.
No reason.
But the whole Dylan Brooks situation, Dylan Brooks, he's another one. Cause I like John Morant, I like Desmond Bain.
I don't like Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain, when he's quiet and he's just playing ball, I fuck with him.
That's what
When he get the bump in the guns for no reason, like nigga, you got the shortest wingspan in NBA history. Like so, if you get in the fight, we not worried about you landing nothing. You ain't got no reach. How you 6'4" and you got like a fucking 4'11" wingspan?
That's cool.
His shit is short. He got T-Rex on. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's what who lucky wasn't in the audience when that shit happened? Boy, stack 5.
I seen that. Was it at UFC or what was it?
No, it was a tank fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just that.
I forgot he was that damn big. Though.
But I could tell that Unc had been drinking though.
Oh, you know he's on that hit.
That warm hitting too.
I could tell because when he uploaded the picture of the fit when he was sitting down on his story, the way he was looking, he started biting his lip and shit like he was drunk.
Hey, that warm hitting is the boy CJ would say.
Man.
That warm hitting changed up like.
Yeah, but Grizzlies, it's just that what's his name, Brooks.
Shit, Pat Bev started when he act like they won the chip. It's really his fault.
That shit was funny.
I forgot about that.
That nigga started crying and shit.
That nigga jumped on the table.
Yes.
It's because, man, I don't know. He don't. They asked him about it. He don't even know. I think Kevin Hart asked him about it. He didn't really have no real answer for it. Pat Bev.
Yeah. Cocaine. Boy had a snow party before that game, man.
Yeah.
But Dylan Brooks, you a bitch. Salamander looking ass nigga.
Come on,
He
man.
said Sal. Man,
It's hot.
Yeah, bro. Ain't none. I would just say nobody on Memphis team about that action. Y'all act like y'all gonna do something. I love Ja's game, but you are too little to fight anybody. You would get broke up easily.
Bro, it is small.
Very small for him to be, because he about 6'1", he about 6'1", 6'2", but he about 150 pounds. Like you would get broke up by anybody one time. I'm saying, man. Well, that's pretty much it, y'all, man. We're gonna have let y'all. We might record next week. I don't know yet. But appreciate everybody for checking us out. I'm Quinn.
Leaving.
bro.
Torn.
And we'll holler at y'all next time.